Hi, my name is Tara Lemezis. I'm the Assistant Director of Adult Learning and Education at Bird Alliance of Oregon. Welcome to my front yard. I've been building this yard with my husband for the last 9 years. It's a certified backyard habitat through the Backyard Habitat Certification Program. And we've planted all sorts of native plants in our yard to draw birds, bugs, and other wildlife. But we also have feeders that the birds love to show up at. The reason we started to build our yard was to make it a sanctuary both for wildlife and birds and for ourselves. I love to sit in my front living room looking out the window to see who comes by. We're currently in fall. It's October here in Portland, Oregon. The leaves are falling off of plants. All of the flowers in my garden have finally gone to seed. The aspen are changing. The wind has picked up quite a bit, so there's leaves blowing all around. And right now, all of the birds are coming here to fatten up for the winter time and get ready to, live in our rainy climate once winter hits. The birds also love to come and visit the bird bath to shake off all the dust of the summertime, and they share the bird bath a little better than they share the bird seed at the feeders. Let's take a moment together to look at some of the birds who show up here. One of my favorite birds that comes to the yard and is a common backyard visitor in the Pacific Northwest and beyond is the black-capped chickadee. Black-capped chickadees are cute and tiny with giant heads and little bodies. They will often come to the feeders, grab one seed, and take off. They are known for stashing their seeds throughout the winter and can have up to 300 different hiding places all around your neighborhood. They're one of my favorite birds because they say their own name when they're in the front yard. So they will say chickadee-dee-dee, and you know that they're here. The next species that you'll often find here year-round is the lesser goldfinch. Lesser goldfinches will visit your feeder in flocks. They love to hang out in their social groups and will bully other birds off of the feeders. They're very tiny and cute. The West Coast species has a greenish back and a black cap, but that's mostly in spring and summer. In the winter, they're a little bit more difficult to identify as they become a little bit duller in their greenish yellowish coloration. The best way to tell them apart from the American goldfinches who also visit the feeders is the conspicuous white patch on their wings. So you see that white patch, you know you've got a female or an immature lesser goldfinch. Another finch that will often visit the feeders is the American goldfinch. Slightly larger than our lesser goldfinch. They change very dramatically from spring to summer into their winter and fall plumage. In spring and summer, they're highlighter yellow, really, really bright, and then in the winter time or fall, they turn a more dull yellow-gray color. The best way to distinguish them when you're looking out your window is looking at the wing bars. They have very conspicuous wing bars all the way up and down their wings. They're also a really social bird and are strictly vegetarians. So they come here to get all sorts of seeds from feeders or from the plants that are in your garden. Another finch that will often visit feeders is the house finch. And house finch males are absolutely beautiful. They have red heads and kind of a red breast. The rest of their body is brown and streaky. And then the females and immature birds are brown and streaky, kind of with blurry streaking on their breast. So they're a little bit bigger than our American goldfinches and lesser goldfinches, but they get bullied by the little lessers and Americans who are taking over the feeders most of the time. They're wonderful birds to watch, and they will come and stay at the feeder for 20 minutes at a time, eating as many seeds as they possibly can. My favorite bird that comes to my bird feeders is the red-breasted nuthatch. They've got a long bill, a streaky, contrasting black and white head, beautiful bluish-gray upper parts, and kind of a buffy orange belly. They're so exciting to me when they visit this time of year. Often I'll be in the front yard gardening and they'll swoop in with their yank, yank, yank call, grab one sunflower seed from the feeder and take off. Now, you wouldn't think raptors often visit bird feeders, but there is one neighborhood predator who will ambush your bird feeders, and that is your Cooper's hawk. So it's our medium-sized hawk. It's an accipiter, so it's got a very long, streaky, banded tail. But they come and visit your feeders to not grab seeds, but rather to grab a birdie snack. So oftentimes you will see the juvenile or young birds come to the feeders, spook away all the birds, and they will leave empty-handed. The adult birds are a little more adept at catching their prey, but they are ambushers of bird feeders and backyards, but still really exciting to see when they drop in for a snack. Not all birds will be up in the tree. Oftentimes, you're going to see birds kicking around in the leaf litter on the ground. We have several species that will visit our backyards that hang out predominantly on the ground. Song sparrows, dark-eyed juncos, spotted towhees, golden crowned sparrows. Those are all some of our birds that are more likely to be found on the ground. So what I like to do when I'm filling up the bird feeders in the tree is I like to spill a little bit of seed on the ground so that our ground eaters can also get some good eats as well. One of my favorites is the song sparrow. It's an iconic species. You can find this bird all over the state of Oregon. They are always in your front yard or backyard. And one of the best things about song sparrows, they sing all year. So it's great to have their voices in your yard when you aren't really hearing many other birds in the winter time. So they're brown and gray. They've got a gray and brown striping on their head, a conical bill, and they've got a long tail that sometimes they'll often point up as they're running around on the ground. The song sparrow song is one of the easiest and most fun songs to learn, but they are neighborhood specific. So song sparrows in my neighborhood may not sound identical to the song sparrows in your neighborhood, but how they get there is all the same. So they often will start out with a quick mic check, like a 1, 2, 3, and then da-da-da-da, and then they go into their song. Another common and wonderful bird that comes to our yards here in Portland is the bush tit. Is there a cuter bird? I'm not sure. They're tiny and gray, they've got really long tails, and this time of year, in fall and winter, they move in very large flocks together. Right now, I have a flock of about 20 birds visiting my suet feeders. They often like to wait until the very end of the suet to drop in. Maybe it's because their beaks are so tiny, but they travel in these large, wonderful groups, and they'll hang out for 10 minutes enjoying the suet feeders. They don't often go to the seed. They love the suet and the fat from that because they're high energy little birds. One fun fact about bush tits is that the females have different color eyes as the males and immature birds. So if you can look closely enough at your feeders, you'll see the females have a whitish yellow eye and males and immature birds have a dark brown eye. Thank you so much for joining me in my yard on this lovely fall day. I hope this brought you some joy, some knowledge, and a deeper appreciation for the birds that we share our own backyards with.